Just a little over a month ago, I got a new M1 Mac Mini computer. I know there is a high likelihood that an upgraded Mac Mini will come out within the next few months, but for my needs, just getting started with the M1 seemed like the best option. Plus, my main goal was just to replace my old 2015 MacBook Pro that only had an i5 processor and an 8GB RAM. I chose the Mac Mini since I didn't care much about portability, and I wanted to try moving to a full desktop experience after almost exclusively using laptops for years. I'm a music producer and video creator, so the computer that I use is pretty important for my overall workflow. Today I'm going to go over my thoughts on the computer after having used it for an entire month, and also provide some insight into what it was like to begin using an M1 Mac for the first time in 2022. But before I do that, I want to remind you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for more music related content like this posted every week. I'm hoping to reach 500 subscribers by the end of February, so any support would be greatly appreciated. Now back to the video. I got the 2020 M1 Mac Mini with 16GB of RAM and the 512GB SSD. On an aesthetic level, I'm really a big fan of the design and size of the Mac Mini. It has a great look and is the perfect size for fitting on any desk or table. However, the Mac Mini doesn't come with a monitor, keyboard, or mouse, so I got the chance to customize each of those features too. For the keyboard, I'm just using this regular HP keyboard I had lying around. I don't plan to use this computer for gaming or anything like that, so having a very high quality keyboard doesn't matter too much to me. For the mouse, I actually decided to purchase the Apple Magic Mouse. I wasn't sure about it at first, but I've grown to really like the design and feel of it, to be honest. And finally, for a monitor, I just went with this pretty cheap 23.5-inch TV I had. I don't plan to do much with graphics on this computer, so while I might upgrade the monitor in the future, a cheap one will work for now. As far as performance goes, the Mac Mini is amazing. It's honestly one of the fastest computers I think I've owned in the last few years, if not my entire life. It's been able to handle everything I've thrown at it very well, from using the internet with several tabs open to creating music. There are two disclaimers I must mention though. One is that while I often work with music projects with 25 plus tracks and lots of virtual instruments and effects, I don't often use extremely high CPU synths or plugins in my regular workflow. However, with the CPU usage estimates I've been seeing, the computer could easily handle a bunch of those too. The other disclaimer is that, as I mentioned before, I'm using the 16GB version of the Mac Mini. And while I think the 8GB one probably would have worked well for my needs too, I can't say for certain. Now I'll talk about the things I haven't liked so much about the Mac Mini. The first thing probably isn't actually its fault, but I'll mention it anyway. In my music making software, Logic Pro X, I have noticed a larger amount of bugs than usual that have disrupted my workflow a bit. However, I think this is due to problems in the software itself or the fact that I'm using Monterey, so likely it's not the Mac's fault. Just thought I'd mention it anyway to let you guys know though. The second problem I'll mention does have to do with the computer itself though. I, like many other Mini users, am not very happy with the amount of ports on the Mac Mini. The computer has two USB-A ports, two USB 4 ports, an HDMI 2.0 port, an Ethernet port, and a headphone jack. The only thing that bothers me about this design is the amount of USB-A ports. For everything I need to plug in for using the computer and making music, I would have preferred 3 or 4 USB ports instead. However, I can always get an adapter if I need to add more ports, so this isn't too much of an issue. The third and final problem we'll talk about is actually something that hasn't affected me much at all personally, but I thought I'd still mention it. I did not research enough about the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi connectivity issues that people have reported having with the Mini before I actually bought it. Apparently, many people have reported having problems with Bluetooth devices like mice and keyboards not connecting properly to the Mini, in addition to the Mini not connecting very well to Wi-Fi. The only experience I've had with any of this is the computer disconnecting from Wi-Fi a couple of times, but I'd reconnected very fast each time, and there's a high chance that this was due to issues with my own Wi-Fi connection or router, rather than with the Mini itself. I'll probably do another review in a month or two, and I'll make sure to update you guys on any other issues I've had in this regard by then. So, do I regret buying the M1 Mac Mini? I don't think so. The computer is amazing for what I need, and the only problems I've had are either easily fixable or not necessarily even the computer's fault. If you're thinking about buying the Mac Mini, I'd recommend considering whether you want to wait for an upgraded version coming out within the next few months. But if you feel the M1 Mini is all you need, like I did, I think it would be a great choice to buy. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you enjoyed this style of content and would like to see more of it. Make sure to leave a like on this video and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Thanks for watching and make sure to always stay Gucci.